Hi there, stamping friends. Today I want to show you how to make these tulips that I made for this bouquet on this Mother's Day card that I made. It uses the 5-petal punch from Stampin Up. And I have punched that out in Melon Mambo. And the first thing I'm going to do to this is I'm going to take my Stampin' Up scissors and I'm going to cut I'm going to go in between the petals and cut straight up about halfway toward the center of the flower toward that other petal. Then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to get in between there and I'm going to cut that straight up. Get in between there and cut toward the tip of that. And do this all the way around until I've cut in all 5 petals. Okay? Then on top of my piercing mat, I'm going to take a stylus and I'm just going to work it in a circular motion on each petal and break down those fibers and shape that petal. And I'm going to turn it and I'm going to do it on the next petal. Just keep going in a circular motion to the center. You can see how it's starting to curl up. Just keep breaking this down. And work all the way around. And it kind of, as you do this on the edges of these petals, it makes them look a little ruffled. Now I'm just going to take this stylus and I'm just going to run it in a straight line toward the center to pull those petals a little bit closer up together. Okay. Now, some tulips, before they start to open, the edges are a little bit green. Sometimes they stay a little bit green, and sometimes it fades out. I'm going to use my gumball green ink pad and a sponge, and I'm just going to lightly sponge the edges of each petal. All the way from the center out to the tip. So a couple of these are going to be hidden. You're not going to see all this, but okay. With that finished, I'm going to take my thumbnail at the tip of that and I'm just going to push in and I'm going to bring those edges together on every petal. Push in with my thumbnail and squeeze. Push in with my thumbnail and squeeze. And this will make these so that they'll curl around better when we go to put the petals together to form the tulip. Okay. I'm going to use some Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm going to pick 2 petals across from each other and I'm just going to bring those up toward the center. And I'm going to wrap one petal around the other, like so. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue here. Around the edge, along the edges and down the bottom there. Okay, then I'm going to squeeze this in and bring this one around. And I'm just going to, I want to try and keep this so it's, you kind of have a flat base. I'm going to manipulate that in like so. It begins to look a lot like a rose petal at first. Just going to wrap that around there. With the Tombow glue, you have to hold it a little bit. It takes a little bit to dry, but once it's dry, it's permanent. Okay. And I'm going to take the next petal, and I'm going to put some glue on the base of that, a little bit up along the edge. Now I'm going to bring this petal and I'm going to put it over where that petal overlaps. like so. And I'm just going to pinch that and hold it. Keep it together, tight at the bottom. I'm going to do the next petal. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason which petal you start with, or I just kind of go around the flower. Now I'm going to wrap this one around, push it off to the side just a little bit, and wrap it around so it overlaps the first sets of petals I've done. Hold it, keep pinching at the bottom just to keep it formed. And I'm going to take the Tombow glue and add a little bit more, a little bit of glue to this, and I'm going to go up just a little bit higher here and push that together. And I like to try and make the base flat, so I just take my thumb and I push it, I hold the tip and I just push that base, and then just kind of keep squeezing it so it doesn't get lopsided, so it stays fairly, not really round, I guess it's kind of oval. Okay. Now, very carefully, I'm going to take my piercing tool, and in the bottom of this flat spot that I've created, I'm going to push my piercing tool in there. And then with some Lucky Limeade cardstock, I'm just going to take the edge, just a piece of scrap paper, and take my scissors and just do a real small thin strip. And I kind of weave my flowers in, or my scissors back and forth. I make them fairly long. Better to have them too long than too short. And I'm going to take a little bit of Tombow glue and just put it in that hole there. And I'm going to take my stem and I'm going to poke that in that hole I've just created. Working it back and forth a little bit. You want to make sure that your stem is not sticking out the top of your flower. And then I just set that off to dry. And that'll harden. Here's one I did, and I only used glue dots. I did not use any of the liquid Tombow, and I only used the glue dots on the last 3 petals that I brought together. So it's much more open. So you could have some that were partially open and some that were pretty tight. For the stems or the leaves on this card here, they're nothing fancy. They're very easy. I just took the same piece of Lucky Limeade paper and I just cut a leaf, something shaped like that, and I just manipulate it a little bit. You can also use your stylus on this. And then I just glued my little tiny stem. Oops, come back here. My little tiny stem there to create this. And made a bouquet. There you are. I hope you've learned something and you try these beautiful tulips. Have a great day.